after several big wins on the world stage, an Israeli-Hamas ceasefire seemingly within reach, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visiting the White House on Monday and presenting President Trump, with a Nobel Peace Prize nomination. United States Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee was asked to say a few words and noted that Trump's actions sent a message to the world. Take a listen.
When the B-2s went in, the celebration, the sense of partnership that you gave with the Israeli people was so dramatic. But the message was bigger than to Israel. It was a message to the world. America's friends can trust us, but America's foes had better fear us.
You know, I was watching that a little earlier, Mercedes. I thought Huckabee was smiling a little early, like he knew what was coming.
He must have known.
But to me, look, it's nice for Netanyahu to come in there and, you know, smooch Trump's butt a little bit and say he nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize. But we know these wokeaholics are never going to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. But it is kind of a nice gesture from Netanyahu, isn't it?
It is a nice gesture, but more so because President Trump has done the impossible, right? Which is, here you had a full-blown war between Israel and Iran, and it was between all the airstrikes going back and forth between the two countries, and you saw civilians die in the process. Yes, there was the weakening of the Iranian regime. But with that being said, President Trump, through his targeted airstrikes, was able to not only decapitate the nuclear program in Iran, but also to basically say, all right, guys, knock it off. We're not going to go into a bigger war here. We don't want to move into World War III. You two go back to your corner. And then on top of that, the Israeli-Hamas ceasefire, again, a very difficult, complicated task. And President Trump has been able to achieve the ceasefire, bringing humanitarian aid into Gaza, and at the same time, you know, basically saying we cannot continue with these full-scale wars. I think it's a huge foreign policy accomplishment for President Trump, something that Joe Biden obviously could not do.
I'm with you. I feel like sometimes people think Trump's like a bull in a china shop, but he's kind of like tiptoeing through the tulips here because there's a lot of things he has to navigate. But the show of utter might and military power was on display there. And today, during a cabinet meeting at the White House, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth spoke about the operation to take out Iran's nuclear facilities.
That mission, Operation Midnight Hammer, re-established deterrence. It reversed what happened in Afghanistan. You saw the debacle of what Biden allowed to happen in Afghanistan and what that did to our image. President Trump said, with Operation Midnight Hammer, we're reestablishing American leadership and deterrence, and we're proud to be a part of it, sir.
Yeah, and you know, Alex, there's collateral benefits too. I was at the White House today, and I was talking to some kind of mid-level staffers in the Treasury Department, and they were saying that a lot of the countries that we're negotiating with, after seeing what the B-2 bombers could do and stuff, everybody's sitting up at attention. So it's kind of helping our military power, is kind of helping with the tariff negotiations.
I don't know what American can't be proud after seeing what our military was able to do. And especially to your point of ending this war, I mean, it was in under 2 weeks. If anyone deserves a Nobel Prize, I mean, that was speedy results. And then furthermore, you know, if he's able to do what he says he can do with Russia and Ukraine, and it looks like he's trying to take a different aspect with Russia, and maybe he'll have some success there, I don't know how you don't give it to him. I don't know how that's not possible.
Well, it's the Nobel, you know, what did you call them, the wokes? The
wokeaholics?
The wokeaholics at the Nobel Committee. Look, President Trump left office. There was no war in Europe. Russia had not attacked Ukraine. There was no war in Israel. Hamas had not attacked Israel and perpetrated that massacre. Joe Biden came in, war in Europe. Iran unleashes the dogs from Hamas to the Hezbollah to the Houthis, and there is war all over the Middle East. President Trump brokered 3 peace deals between Israel and Arab countries, was on the brink of getting Saudi Arabia to sign on. Big stuff going on. Trump, you know, and look, the head of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee said he was kind of embarrassed by the fact that Barack Obama was given the Nobel Peace Prize for nothing.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.